Oops. There we go, those are all fixed. These have all been screwed down. They don't need much screwing really because they've all got these wooden joints that are quite strong. And it's really just if there's the wind tries to lift the building up a little. I'll probably bolt the building down to the mountain to stop that. It just depends on how strong the plates are, the screws that hold the plates on. Put just a temporary nail in there. There's a crack in the middle, a split in the middle of the piece of timber, so I'm just going to put it to one side. Still a little bit wobbly, you see, but I haven't finished doing all of the wind braces yet. They're called skråsvarter in Norwegian. I need to put them in here, and then I'm going to put some up to the lunch. So I can lift this up really as a dead weight. It's actually amazing how the timber scissors make it easier. Danger of this scaffolding breaking if I lift too much weight. Doesn't have to be very deep, that. If I could just know how deep that is. 12.5. It's a little bit on the tight side, this, but it'll be okay. That little gap at the top there shouldn't be there, so I'm going to put a wedge in. It's going to be the right size wedge. Just cut a bit off the nose of that. Needs to wedge. That's better. Going to need a hammer for that. There we go. That's pretty nicely in there. It has to be there really, because the whole point is that it's to work against wind in compression. And that's also why I'm putting these in at an angle like this. This one has a screw in it already, but I'll put one in. I don't want to bump into the screw with this. I made them 18 on the flats. The hole is 18, which means that every corner of the figure of 8 of the octagon is pressing into the fibres. So as you've seen already, that it's a very fine line between getting it in and splitting the pin. That splits. Some splits there already. Of course, I want to stand here really so that I can whack it like that. But then you've got my back in the film instead. That hit the bottom there. These are ash pins, so they're very strong. They used to use them as axles. They've been used as spears. They've been used as arrows, bows. I kind of actually regret a little bit doing that at the thinnest point of the throat there. It's probably not very sensible. I'm not sure I've got any more of those 16mm pins left actually. I should have used the 22mm ones on the roof, and these 16mm ones here because they're 18 now, because you take less fibres with a smaller hole. I mean, this is guesswork really, isn't it? It's kind of guesswork. I don't have any great precedent for this to be correct. Oh, I found another one. So, and of course I correct myself, they're not 16mm, they're 18. Amazing how much language you need to get these things across. This one's got some funky grain. It's going across the pin here. So I'm going to put that on the inside, not on the outside, because if I bang on that it'll just split off, but on the inside it will do a fine job, it'll make a difference really. So I can actually get it in without breaking it. A slightly different sound. It's probably at the bottom. That probably needs, there's a huge gap at the top edge there. What to do with the wedge there as well. First one I did actually was a little bit better than the others. I did them a bit quick really, I don't know. Must be a better way of doing those. There is a screw in there already, and it's kind of really right where I want to put the pin, so I might take that one out. I'm quite keen to use these wooden pegs because if they work, they'll work for a very long time. I've got several of these tools. I bought a few just recently actually because they are on a special offer. Just the batteries. See, when there's a special offer on, it's the batteries I'm after as much as the tools. You often get the price of the tool. I mean, you often get the tool just for the price of the battery, that's the point. So, I didn't put the peg in straight, I put it in at a slight angle. Because when there's an offer on, I go for it because I want the battery. And it's actually the batteries that keep me going for one product line. It's got nothing to do with me liking that particular product line better than anyone else's. I think they're all much of a muchness, these things. But once you've invested in a few of the tools, it's the batteries that keep you stuck into the one producer. Now, what would be an interesting project is to be able to get hold of universal adapters so that you can use any battery on a machine like that. If you had that, you'd be able to buy machines on their own individual merits. No brand has a perfect collection of tools. They're all of varying quality, even the really expensive ones like Trestle. So the time has come now to fix these ones here. And I think I'm going to use the screws. I'm going to use both actually. screws and pegs. They're a little bit on the small side for the job that I'm expecting them to do. Not because they're not strong enough, they're very, very, very strong. That's not the problem. It's more a matter of leverage. The problem is that this is quite short. So if it had been much longer, it would obviously stiffen the corner much more. So I'm going to use friction to aid the process, which needs the big screws. I'll use the pegs as well because the screws might snap in time. I was just thinking about these processes, doing these kind of buildings. Just thinking about actually the fact that the grass is quite close to the bottom, which means the bottom part there can rot more easily because of the humid grass next to it. It's got to have a bit of height. The reason why it needs height is to make it idiot-proof, because some people just don't ever think that they need to look after a building like that in such a way to keep the grass down. In fact, there are a lot of architects that design buildings in Scandinavia these days with wooden panel right down to the ground because they like the look of it, not because it's in any way sensible. But if you do something like that, then it just means that you have to really look after the building carefully, the grass. In this case here, I'm just going to put a little piece of slate down to protect it from the spray back. It's here where it's really good having the weight of that lignum vitae ball. Fantastic. 20 centimetre screws, I suppose that's 8 inches, isn't it? Yeah. They're actually 6 millimetres wide, so there is a chance of them just snapping, you know, when a good wind, a good vindkast, you know, a good storm. These ones pull together, they have this thread here which pulls them together, so I want that to be in the right place, so that has to be up there really. The 30 in it, yeah, it's got the 30, that's no good. I want the 40 in that one. I've only got one of those 40 bits. There's no point going any further than that point where it pulls. It won't be any stronger because what's limiting it here is the size of the head. And if the head is that small, then you can't make it any stronger than that without putting a washer on it to spread the weight, which of course you can do. Maybe a bit stiffer. And here I can use 22mm pegs, and I'll put those also in an oblique angle to prevent the pieces from separating in the direction that they most want to go. Could just do them straight actually. I'll mark that on the pin. I'll put my headphones on. It's getting well over 100 decibels that. don't know. It probably doesn't need this because it has mortises. So I probably could just actually put a nail in here and that would be good enough. I don't know. Guesswork. Check the depth on that. If it's still recording. Almost 20. They're a little bit stronger, these 22mm pins, than the 18mm ones. They handle. They're better suited for the amount of friction and presenting stuff. Yeah, you have to hit it at just the right place for it not to skid off the ball. Okay. Now, let's do the other one. Right, on this one I'm not going to bother with the strap because I think those big heavy duty screws, they're doing a good job of pulling it together, I'm sure. So it has a little strap on here already, but that was just to hold it in place. This one's a bit longer, it should be just a bit stronger. Again, I see where the twiddly point is, you know, this second spiral which pulls them together. Okay, that worked nicely. Pulled it up. Well, then maybe we could do with a wedge in there. The same thing here. So that will work for the first 150 years maybe, or if they snap for the next 5 or 6 years. And then the wooden pins will take over for the next 400 after that. That's realistic. They had 700-year-old ones of these in England. I pull out going clockwise. I thought that little one was very strong, but of course it wasn't. I switched to the heavy duty one. 20, 24 on here, that's 25 already, that's good. With a little bit of bark in it. And I've put the bark on the inside or the outside really. Pop it on the inside. And on the outside there'll be more of it going. I'll cut it. Different sound. I can't get that one because of the angles, I have to cut that one off first. Especially not with a round mallet. Round, say round, spheroid. Spheroid mallet, not the best in the world. Now, bear in mind these are all quite wet, these things, so if I put a little notch in that one, vertical, turn that smaller, it's got a right kind of blade on the other side there. So now if I put a little wedge in that and split it out, it's less likely to fall out. Just like I did with the mallet. At the bottom of the hole is a wedge. Oops. Trapped. hidden. At the top. There we go, that's a different sound. Yeah, so these Japanese saws, if you didn't already know, you can do all the wall now, don't you? They have a Japanese saw on one side, and is it called ripping? A ripping saw on the other. Okay, that's a notch to start, so I can put a little wedge in that if I want. Well, let's just do it, still talking about it. It's quite clear that they're better at the bottom of the hole than on the outside. It's getting wedged in at the bottom, back here somewhere, in the wood there would be ideal, wouldn't it? Get that far with those. Not bother. Good fun. Hands are freezing. It's weird because it's not really that cold. The parts that I'm using here